And we are live.
Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody today? I see that my window hasn't opened as it normally does. Oh, it has.
Want to lick the creamy yogurt from every last
Oh,
inch
dear.
of it, but you can't.
It's done it again.
Yes, that's a hint.
Here's
When
what I'm
we're
going to
starting
do.
with this.
I am going to mute myself and let
I was going to say, maybe that does a hint because it's talking about the different things about creamy yogurt. And, maybe it's a hint about where we're going with today's topic, which is how to spice your love life and your relationship and how to keep it all saucy. But I guess, for YouTube purposes, we're not going to be going into the sauce that much, but just some helpful hints as to how to keep passion alive and keep love alive and keep the excitement alive while Chengi sorts out her sound with the disruptive YouTube. So I am Unique Swanda. On my digital left is Yvonne Green, and my digital further left is Chengi Tobun. And we're all from the Black Swan Relationship Academy, where we teach you how to really upgrade yourself in your relationships and really be the best of yourself, your best version in any relationship. And with that, we always want you to maintain, because sometimes it's easy to start something, but how do you actually maintain a really amazing relationship? How do you maintain the spice? How do you keep things exciting? Especially in today's world, there's so many distractions out here. There's YouTube, there's all these little things that you could, have as distractions, but relationships really should be focused on the two people that are in it. So Yvonne, it looks like it's just the two of us at the moment. I'm watching this out. How are you doing?
I'm good, it's been an interesting day. And about an hour or so ago, we were having a conversation with the lovely Nadine, and you said something that I think may be quite pertinent to what we're going to speak about today. And we were talking about words of affirmation and love, that someone would speak to you and, oh, I miss you, and oh, my world is dark because I cannot see your eyes, or whatever sweet words that he wants to say to you. And I remember saying to you, that would freak me if my person was to call me and say, oh, I'm so missing you. I would immediately say to him, okay, so what's going on? What have you done? And you said, oh no, I love it. I would want him to call me.
I know.
And I
hear it. Even after he's told me 10 times, I want to hear it an 11th time and a 12th time. And then when he sees me again, oh my God.
a little bit, young lady.
That's okay. And my man can handle it.
Oh, hello. I've been told. I've just been told. Hello.
What we do though, we go for men because we've done the work. We know exactly what we need. And when we're even doing our selection process, when we're vetting, we vet men that can fulfill that need. And I'm a needy girl.
Oh, okay, dear. You know what? Unique. Call a spade, and if you want to be needy and your man is okay with that, then you go for it, my dear. Go for it. And
Viva the men who can handle needy.
Yeah.
For them. They're heroes.
But what happens if he doesn't call you the 12th time and it's been 20 minutes and I haven't heard from him? Does that mean he doesn't love me? What then happens?
What happens, but so that we stay on track. For me, that's wise, because the thing is, again, it really depends on what kind of relationship you have. I always think, and we've always been talking about when you know yourself. That's what I'm saying. I'm okay with the guy who tells me that all the time. I'm okay with my man telling me that all the time. And again, the thing is, I think relationships, depending on who you're dealing with, they always bring out different parts of you.
Yeah.
And in the dating process, you start to really discover yourself. And in my dating process, I discovered I like that. I like the good morning text. I like the afternoon, how's my darling doing? I like that. And anytime I receive a text message, like I just have a little giggle inside, like, As you know, I'm the giggler a lot. I will giggle at anything. And that for me feeds my joy. It feeds my happiness. Like I'll be doing something in the middle of the day and I see a text message. I'm like, oh, and I get all girly and I like that. And I've learned to embrace it. I think over the years, I had refused that part of me. And it meant I was not showing up as myself in relationships. And that's why sometimes I just have to take ownership. Like, yes, I like that. I need that.
Okay, so what does your man need then? The hypothetical
Wow.
man. How do you keep things spicy for him then?
I'm gonna keep it spicy for him. But you had a point, she was going somewhere with that. I'll let her go.
Oh, sorry, Yvonne. Please go ahead.
No, I've done all that I need to do. If you needed time to think of something that you can mention on here, Uni, that's fine. But, otherwise you can go ahead.
She's looking through the Rolodex like, what can I get away with saying and still have a man in the morning?
Lest we gonna run away with it. We haven't told people, like, share, subscribe, call a friend, and tell them, listen.
There you go. Absolutely. So I'll take over, seeing as though I was being run off by technology.
Thank you.
I'm back now, so Unique can have a breather and breathe and see how she can preserve her relationship moving forward. And we shall maybe move on to Yvonne while Unique thinks about it and calms down.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Unique, for taking over. I have no idea what is going on with this computer. Okay. All of you should know that what I'm good at is talking and sharing my thoughts. Everything else is a blur. Okay. I'm not a tech guru, so we're doing our best here. Give Mama Swan a clap. Come on now. All right. So welcome. And today we're going to be talking about how to keep things spicy. You can tell that we're very playful because we are very naughty. Yes, we are. But, we keep things under wraps because we're also ladies. It's a very delicate balance. But tonight we're going to have a little bit of fun. We did a lot of work in the last few weeks, delving deep into our psychology, deep into our traumas. And I know, and I love how you were also responsive. And just a quick reminder before we get caught up in naughtiness.
Yes.
Well, naughtiness, but mischief, darling.
Yeah,
feminine mischief.
Yes.
Before we get into dark feminine energy and get caught up in feminine mischief, just to remind you, I'm so glad that you all are so excited and that so many of you have shown interest in joining this soulmate attraction system course group coaching with myself. I am bursting at the seams. I cannot wait to just shower my love on you, and the coaches will be there too. They will be there. They just cannot resist your presence. Okay. But we will be there, and I will be there leading and really helping us we're doing a boot camp, if you like. It's going to be very, very, very intensive. It's going to be fantastic and intensive. You're going to love it. You're going to work hard. You're going to think. You're going to maybe cry. You're maybe going to have to be vulnerable, maybe have to share. But I need you to know that you are absolutely welcome to still come the gate. The doors are still open for you to register. And we decided to extend the early bird discount to, I think, the 15th. I haven't decided, but you want to probably work on it today. Reason for it is because the announcement came really quite late in the day. So we felt that it kind of was unfair to sort of spring it on you and then be like, you got 7 days, because so many people were asking if they could pay a little bit later. So absolutely jump on board. This is going to be a steam train to the other version of you, the best version of you, the more fantastic version of you, the more glorious version of you. And you will get your swan wings. Yes, you will. You will get your swan wings, and you can say goodbye to the chickens and the ducks because you never belonged there. So we're really excited to have you on Saturday. So be there. Just take 7 weeks out of your life. It's immersive. It's intensive. It's fun. It's life-changing. And it is as cheap as it's ever going to get. So you really want to be the people that take advantage. Of course, if you want all the details, you can email admin@blackswanrelationshipacademy.com, and it's on all our socials, like literally flooding the socials. So if you go on Instagram, Black Swan Relationship Academy, Facebook, wherever you type in Black Swan Relationship Academy, you will see an advert and a link to book. If you don't see the link that is relevant to you, that is, you've done the soulmate already and you want to do a refresher with everybody else, then you will have to either call your coach that you did it with, call a member of the team, reach out to one of the members of the team on Instagram or Facebook. We will get everything to you. We promise, because we understand that we kind of rushed this, but this is the only time I had in my calendar where I could block out 7 weeks to support you. So moving forward, now that everybody's calmed down and everybody's blood pressure's together and Unique has not been dumped in the time that we've been talking, I'm joking. I shall go where we left off, but maybe let's go to Yvonne, who I think was kind of tossing the ball that way. But Yvonne, what do you think? Well, you've been married the longest. You've been married. You're the hot chick tonight. You're the one with the ring. Let us know from a relationship perspective how you think keep things spicy. And if we don't believe you, we're going to call your hubby. We're going to call him mine, and we're going to say, is she telling the truth or is she lying? But I know you're an honest woman, so we're going to leave hubby alone because he's a private guy and he doesn't want to get involved in this mess. So tell us, what do you think? What is the one thing that you think? Obviously, there are loads of things, but what's the one thing that you think has kept things spicy in your relationship?
Let me think. I'm going through the Rolodex.
There are too many.
Do you know, just now, myself and Unique, we were joking and we've all been joking about, the 500,000 calls during the course of the day. It's not 12, it's now gone all the way to 500,000 units. Yeah. But do you know what I like? I like spontaneity. I get bored very easily. And so this afternoon, for instance, he came home from work whilst I was speaking with Chengi, and he walked in the door and walked by me. And I said to Chengi, he's just giving me the thumbs up. Because I was quite surprised and taken aback. And I thought, okay, so what does that mean? And I said, check it, what should I do? And I was on speaker, and you said, oh, just tell him how wonderful he is, how much you appreciate it, and thank you for the thumbs up for whatever good you've done. What? And he said, thank you, Chengi, you tell her. I'm thinking, how? Okay, that is just a joke, of something silly that happened today. And he keeps me on my toes with the silly things. If he comes in and I'm on a call, I will have heard him come in, I'll look around and he'll be at the door and he's doing something silly. And I've got to quickly turn back and get on, especially if I'm with a client or if I'm on a live or doing something. So he will always try and do something that is going to make me laugh. We can, between the both of us, we can be very, very silly. And because we both identify, I'm 35, he's 36, and we identify that way and we're staying that way.
Indeed, of course.
We can be very childish in the things that we do. And sometimes, I think to myself, if we are saying that we're much, much younger than we are, both of us would be in trouble for the things that, we shouldn't really be doing. But for me, spontaneity works. I like to be caught off guard. I like it when the unexpected happen, but don't call me during the day unless you want, something from me. I don't like to be called. And if you say to me, oh, I miss you, I think, okay, who died? What did you do? that kind of.
She's clearly a secure person.
I'm so secure in the knowledge of who I am and my identification. I identify in 2 ways. I 3 ways. I identify as a wife. I identify as I'm 35, and I identify I'm in the one upper echelons of that 1%. I identify as that, and I'm just here on a Tuesdays.
Because you've got nothing better to do.
No. So every so often I condescend to come down to
the common folk, the common folk of England. I love that. I love what you said. I think spontaneity is a must, 100%. And that really takes a playfulness.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us as women lost our little girl somewhere along the line. We need to go find her. Okay. We've gotten way too serious. You have to understand something about men is they love to play.
Yes.
and they depend on their woman to be playful.
Yes.
Because if they're hardworking, if they're masculine, they're usually focused on their goals all day, what they have to achieve, the things they're not achieving, the things they want to achieve, their goals. They're always in this kind of super serious space, and it's just normal. It's just how they are. And so the woman is in the life of the man to almost decorate it. You know,
Yes.
I'm not saying that's all. There's some deeper things, obviously, spiritual things and deeper things. But by and large, she is there to decorate his life. That is to bring what is soft, what is playful, what is spontaneous. Because I happen to know Yvonne's husband, and he's the serious type. He's a silent, he's a strong, silent type, you know.
Yeah.
But I know he's really responsive to her playfulness, because Yvonne is super playful. She's really, really mischievous and playful with him, and he's really responsive to that. And I know that we don't think it's kind of a big deal, but I have such a hard time getting girls to play. You know, I was talking to, I think it was Nadine earlier, and she was like, gosh, guys are really funny, or like they really laugh around you. I was like, I bring that energy to the room.
Yeah.
Like if you're dating me, if you're talking to me, if you are even just a guy in my space, I bring the giggles. I bring the joke.
Yeah.
I'm going to poke at you, and I'm going to, you know, and it's always going to be complimentary, and it's always going to be, I'm going to make you feel like you're big, strong, and the king of the world. And I'm going to do it in a playful way. And, you know, and she was like, why does that happen? I was like, not every guy is like, finds my sense of humor funny, but I bring that. I bring that to the table. I bring that into the room. I bring that into the experience. And I thought every woman could. And then I coach women, and I'm like, can we just have a bit of fun, please? Excuse me, young lady. Can we just have a bit of fun? And to be able to sustain that ability to laugh a little, and, you know, not take yourself so seriously. You know, I always say that if you want chemistry to grow, you really have to have a bit of rose-tinted glasses. You really have to have that child play. You have to believe in his ability to be a playful being. And that obviously then translates to your chemistry, that translates to the freshness and how wonderful it is. And you know what it takes to be that for a man? You have to be that for yourself, right?
Yes.
And that's the beautiful thing, because it should come from your overflow. It shouldn't be, right, oh, hubby's coming home.
I need to cry
be playful. It's not like a big chore, you know. It should be, you know, oh, he has no idea what I got planned for him when he gets through those doors. You know, it should be pranks. It should be playfulness, games, you know, create a joke, a running joke in your relationship that even in the worst of times, you can, when you're so angry with each other and you're kind of done with it, you crack the joke and everybody knows it's funny. And even if they're like, it's not funny, but we know it's funny, it's our joke. But you have to have enough of that repertoire, because sometimes in relationships, things get so real, so deep, so angry, so solid. And this is not just for married people. Even when you're dating and you hit that power struggle stage when things are really hard and what kind of thing, is that who you really are? You know, and we're doing all of that, which is part of that power struggle stage in relationships, you know, at that time, which is why I love the honeymoon, because a lot of people don't utilize the honeymoon phase really well. It's the time when you collect all the fun bits.
Yeah.
You collect all the supercilious, is that the word, supercilious, the kind of just the ridiculous. You create that in the honeymoon phase, because then you kind of have a dossier of the things that work and make each other laugh, so that when you get into that serious space and you feel sometimes like you're being pulled in two opposite directions and there's a space between you and you can't seem to, right? A little text with the same joke that we find funny, or a little phrase that we always used to bond over is just going to bring us back together. And, you know, that part is actually what makes that, it keeps relationships going for years. You know,
I like you want to add to that, because when you really think about it, whenever with your friends, you bond over laughter, you bond over fun things that you make up, but things that you do. Whenever we go out for lunch or we do brunch, it's the fun moments. It's like we don't actually remember what you ate. Like, can you remember the last thing you ordered? You never remember the things you order. You always remember the jokes, the conversations that you had, and that's all part of the bonding. And I think sometimes we run away from the things that actually keep us together, and
Yeah.
start doing the mundane things of every day of, yeah, we all have to go to work. Yes, I have to have calls, so I'm not going to be able to check on the messages that I get, the 1,000 of them that I get in that day. I might only get back to, like, at the end of the day, oh, thank you so much for all the messages, and laugh through all of them, send emoji. But I think to add to the laughter as well is doing things that keep you excited about each other.
Yes.
And it could be anything, and it's really between the two of you. And this is why I was going back to, you need to actually know what excites you. You need to know what makes you happy, what brings the joy inside you. I was with a client today, and I was just talking about, I think we're kind of starting our styling journey, and I'm like, I'm so excited. I'm excited about how we're going to style you. We've just got so many events planned for the summer, well, the end of summer. One of them is a wedding, and I was like, oh, send me the pictures. Already that's exciting. So even within your relationships with your man, it's about finding the things that excite the other person, which is why sometimes, which reminds me, we've got those 50 questions, right? And
Yeah.
one of them is, what did you used to want to be when you were a boy? If you used to be a firefighter, it just kind of remind you of things like that. Like sometimes I'll ask questions like that, and guys will be like, why are you asking that kind of question? But they don't really understand the connection that draws between two people, because you're sharing your childhood moments. Because I think we equate excitement and play with childhood. And we feel like we can't play when we're adults, when really, when you meet someone, you just want to be able to play and just be your own girly self. And I'm the joker of the bunch, of all of us here. Like, I will laugh at anything, and I'll make jokes about everything. And I believe that kind of translates into relationships as well. When you really start to know your own true essence, it's just a fun, bubbly person who's always curious about certain things, who's always wanting to have adventure. And we try to infuse that in the relationship. So I guess my addition to that, not just laughing, but find the curiosity of being a child again.
Yeah.
Like, create a space where you both can just be children. Like, can you imagine if your hubby, like, just walked around and walked into another room and did this? Like, they'd all look at him funny. But because he's able to be free and just do silly things like that with you, and it becomes your running joke. And that's why sometimes, like, it's when a couple always laughs a lot, there's just something about them that it just transcends just beyond the relationship. There's just always joy in the home. And I think, as like you said, as a woman, sometimes it's your joy, it's your place really to make home a place to want to be, to make home a place where you want to come and play, or to make home a place that is not cantankerous. And, like, we're using big words today.
Don't like cantankerous.
No, we don't like cantankerous. We want fun, we want adventure, we want joy, we want laughter. And when the children come as well, that's an addition, because there's so much laughter, and you start to create your own culture. Because technically, two people coming together, you start to create your own culture, your own traditions, and most of them should really be centered around making the home a beautiful, fun place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's effort. The thing with people, and the thing that the biggest relationship killer is laziness. It takes effort. You're not always going to feel good, but it takes effort and rituals of how to feel good for yourself, because understanding always that we are the atmosphere, and the men, we are the temperature, and the men are the thermostat. So, he's only going to read your temperature, but also he has the power to change on the thermostat what the temperature should be in the room. Come on, can I get an amen?
Amen.
So
it's getting hot in here.
It's a dance between the thermostat and the temperature. Okay. So it's really about playing your part and realizing that if I'm going to be grumpy, then he's going to enter that atmosphere, because we, the feminine, are responsible for atmosphere, responsible for that kind of feel of the energy, the feel of the home, the feel of our man. And I had this guy friend of mine who was just so much work, he's such hard work, but I don't know how his wife tolerates him. And he said, Chengi, there was a girl who could really manage me. This girl was amazing. I was like, what did she do? Because anyone managing you, and he said, no matter how angry I got, or ignorant I got, or difficult I got, she always found a way of making it funny.
Yeah.
He's like, she would just say things like, oh, I don't even know why you'd be upset at a bimbo like me. And she would kind of make fun of herself and be like, I'm just a bimbo. You should be upset at a bimbo. Like, no, that's not a strategy. Okay.
No,
Self-deprecating is
don't
not a
make
strategy. But she found a way to not take herself seriously, meaning that she could invite him into that space. Because for her, it's like, look, I was just making a point. Okay. And she's come to the point where she's worked through her stuff where you don't have to accept my point. You don't have to like it. But for goodness sakes, let's not get upset about it, you know?
Yeah.
And she was always able to maintain the energy of it's not that deep. Without minimizing his anger, she had a way of doing that. And she's the girl that got away. She's the woman that, and he was like, I'm so stupid, I should have hung on to her. And really, she just managed to tap into her femininity. She managed to tap into this thing of, honestly, we're not going to fight about this 5 days from now. We won't even remember. You know, it's bringing ourselves back to, you know, am I going to care that he was grumpy today if he was, God forbid, to die tomorrow? Am I going to be like, it won't matter. What we need, what matters are the connections we're making, the memories we're making. And I really feel like sometimes we get so bogged down with relationships and we've got to stay married and we've got to overcome this, that we forget to play.
Yeah.
You know, so I love that point. Did you have a point to add, Unique? To
just added one.
You've already added yours. Okay, then I'm going to add mine next. I can't wait.
Could I just buttress something that you said just very quickly?
Yes.
For those who don't understand what it means to have laughter and fun and that kind of thing, do you know there's a sure way of doing that? Have friends and the people that's in your core group that there's a couple of jokers in there. And be with them, because when you're with people who are funny and you leave their presence and you go home, you can't help but take that energy with you. And then, you know, you're telling the story and you never guess what Unique said. And you're so busy laughing, that person is eagerly waiting to hear what you've got to say. And they've already started laughing and you haven't even said what it was that the person said, you know, that was funny. So if you can't come up with anything to be funny, hang around with people who will make you laugh just for no apparent reason. The three of us here don't need to have a conversation to laugh. Somebody, you know, and it can be something stupid that is said and all of us burst out laughing and you think, how did you get there? And you know, we spend a good 10 minutes discussing how we got there and we're laughing with tears coming out of our eyes. And you take that home, your house really would be, the atmosphere in the home would be so much easier and so much lighter.
Absolutely. And go do that and report back to head office. Go and do that, everybody. That's your mission this week, because if you're going to be on the soulmate, things are going to get intensive. So let's just have a little bit of fun right now, and come back and report back on our next video and let us know how you're getting on. If you're having a hard time being cute and funny, and you know, everybody's got their version of funny. Some people's funny is not being funny, you know. It's like it's not funny. And that's funny. It's funny that's funny. You know, some people, there's a comedian I like on Instagram, and also I follow so many comedians.
Yes.
My feed, right? My feed is full of comedians, Jamaican comedians, African comedians, village comedians. I mean, I love to fill my life with laughter, but this is one comedian I follow. He laughs at his own jokes, and then you laugh at him for laughing at his own jokes. It's just so funny. It's like he's laughing, he's telling the joke, and it's going, and like everybody follows him because they find it funny that he finds himself funny. Exactly. And I had a cousin like that. She would be like, I got a joke to tell you. I got a joke to tell you. And she'd be laughing at the joke as she says it, and we're all looking at her like, but then we would eventually all burst out laughing because she's laughing at her own joke. That's not funny, you know. Terrible at telling jokes. So that can be your version of funny. You know, you're terrible at telling jokes. That's funny. You know, you have a dry sense of humor. And if you are married to this person or in a relationship with this person, chances are they kind of like your sense of humor. So give that a try. I'm surprised that somebody did not speak about lingerie and stuff, but I guess that's boring. Okay.
mean, come on. It's like,
boring.
you know,
we just thought we would ease into that. We didn't want to go off the bat with it. So, you know, we thought bring it in easy, gently. You know, the first
No, because
date.
you're all saved, girls, and you're gonna be talking about lunch.
oh, please.
Exactly.
Okay, we're gonna leave that to you, to Unique.
We're
She might
still
feel inspired.
girlies. We're still girlies.
Yeah. Okay, we can talk about that in the Black Swan Relationship Academy. That one we might have to keep behind closed doors because we don't want people, you know, knowing our business like that. Okay, so we're gonna roll that back. We're gonna talk about in BSN, but of course, if one of us feels like talking about it, that's all.
But I mean, if you want to talk about, I can talk about it on a more serious note where, like, you know, we can just tell you the steps of where to go and get lingerie. Like, you know, let's get all serious because it is a serious topic.
It's very
because you need to
serious.
spice up your love life. You need to get yourself some red lingerie.
Oh,
You
hello.
need to get yourself some black lingerie. You
Oh.
need to get yourself some interesting things to put on and take off.
Because let's face it, Unique, everybody likes to open a beautifully presented package.
Yes.
Did I
to
say
make
that was
things
serious?
different, you
They
make
need to be
things
baptized
different.
again. Go and wash your mouth out with soap, Unique.
What did I say?
I'm
talking about the present. I said everyone likes to open a beautiful presented package.
Well, yeah, I agree.
With a nicely tied bow.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
beautiful.
saying that, there's so many things that you could do. There's some oversized boxes that you could get off Amazon as well. If you prefer to paint them red, you can leave them like that, just a little bit of spice, and deliver yourself to him.
Oh, darling, I'm so sorry. Can you please say that again? This time I'm going to the appropriate
I
facials.
thought I heard boxers. What did you say?
I
Did you
said
say
you could get
boxes?
some
Boxes. Start
Completely
again.
different.
Start again. We're very serious. We're grown women
So,
here.
Yeah.
just saying, I mean, singers were going in that direction.
Mhm.
One idea could be, I'm saying you can get some really oversized boxes on Amazon. Make sure that you fit in.
Boxes that you can fit in.
That can actually fit in.
Yes.
And with your lingerie, make sure the kids are not home that weekend.
Make sure the kids are not home. Mhm.
Or even better, book a weekend away.
Yes.
It's just going to be him. It's his time alone. And then when he gets there, there's a nicely wrapped box there, a big, massive box. Like, I wonder what could this
With
be?
his name on it.
With his name on it. And he unwraps it, and you have delivered yourself to him to do whatever he wants.
You appear as the present that you are, as the prize and the jewel that you are.
That certainly sparks the spontaneity thing, doesn't it? It beats showing up at the door and doing that, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
going away, it beats that. And it's just that it's something for you to laugh about. And most probably, knowing me, I'd most probably trip out the box anyway. And that's something else to laugh about. So it's little, and obviously, yeah, and get the lingerie. There's so many, like I said, we will keep all of that for Swan Nation because that's exclusive content.
Yeah.
That's behind the scenes. So we were just giving
Yes.
you a little bit of a something.
Mm.
But if you want to know where we have these conversations, that's in the Black Swan Nation.
Yes.
That you can go to the website and get yourself in there because things go down in there. Things go down. Okay. Now, really on a serious note, I had a friend because a lot of women feel like they can't show that other side to their partner because maybe they've been playing the nun or the good woman or whatever it is. And they feel a bit intimidated. So I had a friend who decided, look, forget that. You know, we've been together for 10 years. Things need to go. So she went and got herself, costumes. She was Officer Betty. That's the name we're going to give her. Officer Betty. She really went for it, but I think the officer one really took off.
Yeah.
And she did the whole role play thing, and it's really sexy. I mean, the first thing he did, and this is a lot of women's worst nightmare. This is a woman's worst nightmare, but she just had committed. You have to commit.
Yes.
So she'd committed. So he walks so she sends him off to get some water. So she books a weekend away, like Unique says. So she sends him off to get some water and she dresses up as Officer Betty. And so he comes into the room and she says, you're under arrest or whatever she says. You know, she does the whole thing.
You're under arrest for the audacity of looking so gorgeous.
Exactly. There you go. She said that. And then he just burst out laughing.
I can imagine.
He burst out. That was his first reaction because he just wasn't expecting it. His woman is so serious and so together and good Christian woman and loves the Lord. His wife, by the way, for those of you who'll be like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Context.
promiscuity context. Okay. So his wife, he was like, who are you? But he just burst out laughing. But she said, after he sort of adjusted, he was in role play. He was, officer, please, no, don't do it to me. I mean, he was arrest me now. You know, he was really into it. And
Yeah.
it was really good and really funny. And then she spent the whole kind of weekend changing, and he just got into it. And it was fantastic because he just literally brought their love life, and just they came back with memories and stories. And you know, it was fun. And it was even fun for me to hear it. I mean, it's girl talk, by the way, you know, it was just good girl talk, but it was great for me to see her come out of her shell. You know, obviously she kind of brought some toys with her, but he wasn't keen on those. So, but it's okay, because sometimes for him that was the end. That was with okay. So, but men are different. Men are very different. And I think, you know, you won't know till you try. And if you've been in a long-term relationship, you're married and things are kind of feeling a bit stale. Do you know what's really funny is she wasn't doing it for him, she was doing it for herself.
Yeah. Which
She
is what I
said-
was actually going to say on that. It's the importance of doing it for yourself. And I think most of the time, actually, let's sing as we're there. It's that whole thing of women feel like in the whole thing of initiating as well, because so basically in my church they've been doing a whole thing about red flags and putting in questions and answers. And one of the things was that they hadn't been intimate for quite some time, and they were asking for advice, like how do we spice it up. And I remember thinking, you know what, sometimes it's not even that. It's because when you're not confident in yourself, say you've now become a new mom, you're not going to be that confident in your own body. So you need to kind of adjust, and like it's really more about you being confident in yourself. Because remember the first time when he saw you, it was because of that confidence that you exuded. There's something about you that he found attractive, and it's always holding on to that, but then also expanding it, because we go through different stages in our lives. And I think we even had this discussion, like I'm at my biggest at the moment, but for some reason I feel a lot more confident. I feel a lot more sexy. And even though I don't like the weight, but somehow, somewhere, it's sitting well with me, and I like it. But it's taken time to get to that level of confidence, because I've had to shift my wardrobe a little bit, and also bringing in the whole element of style. It's okay to shift things, but always know that you're doing it for yourself first. Because you need to be confident. Because if she came up with the whole, okay, I'm going to dress up just to please him, she would have been devastated. You just said, no, I don't like that. Should have just gone back even more into her shell. But because it's just really more about her, I think that's most probably what even shocked him in the first place. It's like, what? Who is she? Like, and there's a different side of him to get to know, because
absolutely
you get to know someone 100%. There's so many things that, you know, like we always think, oh no, I'm going to do this, and but we never get to do it because we don't allow ourselves that exploration.
100%. And now he knows in the back of his mind that she has that in her. So it's not like she has to be doing it every single time when, you know, she can if she wants, but it's that feeling that, girl, and that might give him permission to explore some things with you that maybe he was thinking you might not be willing to explore. You know what I mean? Because, you know, sometimes with men, they get caught up in this sense of, this is my wife, and we're going to be respectful here. And that's wonderful. Okay. Well, keep things respectful. But he was out there in those streets doing not so respectable things. Okay. And now that you guys are married, he's having a hard time because he has to do vanilla with sprinkles on this side. But over there, it was swirls and chocolate swirls and strawberry and crunchy. It was all going on over there. Okay. And sometimes men feel like they have to compartmentalize their sex life. And I'm not saying under any circumstances that's why they cheat. That's not what we're discussing here. Okay. But I definitely think that, you know, for yourself too, you know, sexuality, especially in relationships, is an unveiling of you, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just this is why the Bible says the marital bed is undefiled.
Yeah.
Because there is an intimacy and a part of you that you show your mate in evolution of who you are. The way a younger woman makes love is very different from the way an older woman makes love. It's just very different. You've just lived a little, you've seen enough, you care less about certain bits of your body. You're like, let it jiggle, okay. You know, when you're younger, maybe a little bit like, you know, but you're like, girl, listen, let it flop.
It is what it is.
So, you know, it's allowing your partner to go through all of those transitions with you. And that deepens your intimacy, and that definitely keeps the spark going. And I know most people think that the aged and the elderly do not intimate, but they be intimate. Okay, they're 90-something-year-olds out here keeping it real.
Listen, let's even take it down to the Bible. Remember,
yes,
Sarah.
Yes, she was an old girl.
Yeah, and those like, oh, we're old girls, but they still got it going on.
Yes, Elizabeth was an old girl. Yeah,
yes.
She was things were going down. Okay, so you know, I think that it should be about you. It should be about your. I think it's a good transition from your playfulness, transitioning into, you know, letting that playfulness become more experimental. Look, we can't choose when the triggers happen. We can't choose when the fights happen. I know we think we can, but we can't. No. We can't choose when we're not going to get on what day. We can't preempt that. What we can preempt is fun. What we can preempt is kind of spontaneity. We can preempt that. We can plan that. And that stuff, you know, whenever you break up with a guy, it's always that stuff you remember. Yeah. Forget that he was such a loser at the end of the day, you know, that he was worthy of the jumping. It's the spontaneity. And so in the same thing with a marriage and in a relationship, if you can keep enough of that stuff going, when the ugly bits happen, you have something to fight for.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, it's not just this misery dark cloud that you don't feel you have anything to fight for. You can fight for the nights where you laugh. You can fight for that amazing bedroom life. You can fight for you know, the moments where you wear that lingerie and wear it like you're rocking it with your cellulite and everything out here in these streets. You know, you can fight for all of those things, but often we don't give ourselves something to fight for. And when I was getting divorced, when I was, you know, leaving my ex, one of the questions I kept asking myself is, what am I fighting for? And all I could see was like this dark gray cloud. I didn't have memories of laughing our heads off until we couldn't breathe. I didn't have memories of any kind of freaky deaky stuff. I didn't have any memories of anything other than me toiling to keep him happy, to keep him, you know, just toiling in this kind of sense of misery. And we need that. You need to be able to say, look, what am I fighting for? You know, even if you're dating, what am I fighting for? We've got to fight for the good moments. I love it. I love it. Thank you. So red lingerie, black lingerie. Let's start at junior levels, okay? Before we start buying police officer outfits and nurses uniforms.
Can I just add one thing? Cotton pajamas from Primark are not lingerie.
Say again. I missed what you said. Cotton pajamas
from Primark are not lingerie.
Cotton PJs from
and you don't need
Primark.
like a hefty budget to really stack up, like, you know, it's a whole thing, matching bra sets. Again, it's about how you feel about yourself and your body. Get your bra size fitted, make sure you've got the right size bra, wear the right knickers. If you're going to be wearing thongs, if you're going to be wearing French boxers, wear the right size, because you're going to feel more confident about yourself in the right size shape that's for you. Go out and try things. I mean, I get my bras from Bravissimo, and like for me, it's been a world changer. It changes your whole wardrobe and the way you look at yourself. And they bring out some really, and only just in the UK, I suppose. And this is more really, I guess I'm talking about the bigger busted girls, because there's more supply for smaller busted girls. For bigger busted girls, you really have to look out and find something that makes you feel good, because most of it is just drab and mummy bras. So you really have to find shops that and there's so much now out there. And when we say lingerie, it's not just about it being sexy for a man, it's being sexy for you too.
Yeah.
It's get some negligee, like some lace nightwear. Get some, even if you do shorts, and get a set, get the camisole, get fabrics like silk that will make you feel so good and feel like $1 million, because there's nothing like silk on your skin. It just makes you feel so good about yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and the touch of it also on.
Indeed.
Yeah. So
yes.
It's what we're
right now. Oh my God, do I go there?
No. Let me just add my bit first.
Yes, you go there. Then while she contemplates.
Do you know what I wanted to say for us, identifying 35-year-olds whose children are grown up and are no longer in the home, and it's just you and you know, your hubby, or if you're the young married couple and you've got, you know, little ones who may be in school, etc., and during the normal school time and whatever, it's difficult for you to have those spontaneous moments that you would have. So when you were talking about the couple who, you know, they went away and, you know, took some playthings with them, then, you know, they know that nobody's going to burst in on them and, you know, disturb what they're doing. And for those who are a little older, when they don't have like young children at home or any children at home, it's just the two of you. You've got to make it interesting for each other, because you know what, nobody's going to disturb you, nobody's going to do. I remember Chengi telling me a little while ago that there was a survey that was done where it encouraged couples to sleep in the nude. And it wasn't because they were wanting them to be physical intimate, but it was just so that they would be, it was an experiment in closeness without having, you know, anything. So it wasn't that you did that in order for you to, you know, copulate. And I remember saying to my husband, Chengi said that she was reading this article, and in this article, it promoted that, you know, couples should sleep in the nude. And he was all for it. So I said, no, it's okay what you're, you know, that you're all for doing so, but it's not a way to initiate anything. It's just that you go to bed to sleep, because apparently not having any restrictions around you made you, you know, sleep better, and all the research that they had done for it. But he just couldn't get the hang of it.
He's like, I want to play.
Yes. So I just want to play. Needless to say, we never got round to doing that. But it's just a case of, you know, the fact that
the enthusiasm got her worried.
Yes, he really did. He got too enthusiastic about it. And it's when there isn't anyone to interrupt you, and you know that you can walk around naked if you want to in your own home. It's just the two of you. There's nobody that's going to open the door. You can be as spontaneous as you want, as often as you like, because you know that no one's going to come in. You can do the dress up, the dress down, the, you know, the role play, you're in the kitchen and you're just dancing. You've got your earpods in and you're dancing away to your music. And then the next thing you know, your person's come up behind you and they're dancing, and you stop cooking and everybody's having a good old bop too. You know, do you know when the Bible says the latter will be greater than the former? This is our time now where we can be ourselves without the worry of, no one's worried about getting pregnant again. Nobody's worried about, you know, the hormones are doing this is happening that way, and all this. You can just enjoy, you know, one another and the relationship. And being that this is my second time round with the same person, where we're at right now is when the Bible says the latter shall be greater than the former, being that we don't have the worries that we had when we were in our teens and, you know, 20s and 30s. We don't have those worries. You're not worried about you know, where's the money coming from to do this and where's going to happen here. So your focus can be on you. He can focus on him, and most importantly, you can both focus on each other, because
Yeah.
you have an intimacy that has changed over the period of time that you've been together. Not only has it become deeper, but it's become enjoyable. It has become, you want to be with that person, and you're not making yourself, oh, it's my duty, so I've got to. You're doing so because you want to do it. You've discovered this new freeness that you didn't think that you would ever have for yourself, but you've just discovered it and you like it. You like your mischievous self. You like the way that you can make the first move and nobody's going to look at you sideways. In fact, you'll see the gleam in their eye. Do you know? And that is, all of that is good. So don't think that because you're of a certain vintage that, you know what, life has passed me by, so I better sit down, kick my feet up and just wait for the little men to come and take you away. No, there is just so much fun that you can do out there. It's unbelievable. And some of it with your clothes on, you know, so have a great time.
Viva la fun. Viva la fun.
Yeah.
I love that. And somebody in the comments, what's her name? Pookie Gloss says, we always sleep nude, especially in the summer. Hello. Listen to me. Who wants Yvonne to go nude with her husband tonight? Because we know hubby is for it. She just confessed that she has denied him his excitement and fun. We're going to call her to live out her words because she speaks so boldly.
Can come back
in the comments right now, all 26 of you, please type in
now.
Nude.
Have to type in if that's what you want to happen, because
put nude. If I get 10 people, she's got to do it. She's got to go to bed naked with her hubby tonight.
Sorry, I
bravely.
Me not understand English. Me no know what you're talking about. Me not understand.
I've got three nudes coming through. Now, while they come through, what did you want to say, Unique, before we end?
Oh God, this has been fun. But I was just saying, like, if Yvonne is bringing some really amazing points, especially about the confidence within yourself as well, and the beauty of evolving with your person. And it's not just about the copulation. It's not about like how many times you can do it in a day or whatever. It's really about the evolution of both of you, because you're never going to be the same person you were at 25 and that now you're 35. You're not going to be the same. I'm not going to be the same when I was 15 and now I'm 25 forever. It's just not going to be the same. And when I'm 25 next year again, or in a month's time, it's not going to be the same person, right? It's just going to be, I'm trying to make a serious point here. Me, in all my 25s, I'm never going to be the same woman. Right. No. And it's enjoying that. I think even as friendships, as friends, we've started to see our own individual growth, and we appreciate it. So it's such a beautiful thing to behold, right? And it's beautiful to be present when people are changing and evolving, because that change brings a new dimension, a new perspective. Like, okay, who is this girl? How do I deal with this girl? And most interviews that I've watched when it comes to married people, and I think my personal I wouldn't say regret, is more like hindsight, in that I always thought my marriage was going to be this romantic thing, like we're always going to have an amazing time. The minute we'd start arguing, I'm like, oh my God, he's gone, he's going to be out of here in a minute. And eventually he did. But it's little things like that where I didn't know how to embrace change. It's embracing someone who's evolving, because the man I dated before we got married was not the same man that was going to be in the marriage. And again, we're always fighting that. We always seem to fight change. And I think more than anything for me, the one thing I'd say would really spice up your life is when you start to embrace change. When you embrace 100%. Who this person is now become. They're going to be a different person when they're a dad. They're going to be a different person when they're at work. We all have multiple personalities, and it's not a disorder. We all show up in different ways. So it's embracing all of that. And like in hindsight, I always say, like, you know what? Because this year would have been our 10th anniversary. 10? No, it would have been our 20th anniversary. Would have been married 10 years, 20 years in December. And you kind of start looking back and you think, you know what? we would have really grown together if we're just both accepted. I mean, things happen and we've all gone our separate lives. And I'm grateful because I'm now the woman I am because of all these things that have happened. But when I look back at myself as a bride in 2003, I've changed so much in this time. And I love the woman that I'm going to be. And I love the woman that is going to be able to share with this new man. Like, I'm a lot of adventure. I'm so much more
Adventure
now.
she is.
I love
That
it.
is for sure. Adventure she is. We partake. Yes, in the adventures. She's
Yeah.
Unique is definitely she keeps us all very young. She keeps us very much in our 20s. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you make an amazing point, actually, because I think women in particular, I think men enjoy a woman's evolution.
Yeah.
Because men are wired for variety. They just are. They want variety. And, so if our evolution is sexy and it's fun, it's usually going to be accepted, even if he has a bit of a giggle and a laugh at first because he can't believe what's going on. Even if that's his kind of initial reaction, I think men, by and large, embrace the changes of a woman. The problem is we don't embrace our own changes, because so many of us have got these abandonment wounds, and we've got these, rejection wounds where, maybe we poked our head out 2 minutes and we got laughed at or whatever, and now we will never do it again. And we've kind of pigeonholed this guy. He wants me to be a square peg at all times, and if I move, he's going to leave me. But in reality, is staying stuck, there's no growth there. What's he staying for? He already knows this version of you. He's already explored this version of you. And I think if you find that you're listening to this and you're thinking, hell no, I could never do that with my boyfriend, I could never do that with my husband or my partner, whatever space you are when you guys are trying to spice things up, I could never do that. These suggestions just too raunchy. Just, in fact, it gets on my nerves. I could never be playful. It's all I'm doing to stick around. If that's going on, regardless of what your subconscious mind is telling you, there's some unconscious protocols going on. Yeah. Stories behind in the background that speak of unworthiness, that have you trapped in an identity. And a lot of the identities we have been imposed on us by others. Hardly ever are they a true projection of who we are. So this is why, as we close, it's another invitation for you to join us at the Soulmate, because what we're going to do is really help you develop your authentic self, because you will be surprised who she is. She might be a little vixen. She might be a little nun. We don't know who she is, but we need to definitely be connected to our authenticity and really choose ourselves, because in life we can't guarantee that others will choose us all the time and forever. Whether it's in business, in love, life, business, I cannot guarantee you that 10 years from now this will be the 3 sitting here. Things change, people grow, they go and do different things. It's about understanding that change is very healthy. And change is necessary, and change in the direction of growth is something that brings us so much fulfillment. So if you're thinking, okay, I had a giggle with these girls and it's kind of funny, but I'm not doing that. I am not doing that. Then let's help you be brave, and let's help you work through some stuff. And it might not be your thing to do. Maybe you as a couple, maybe your stuff is a bit slower. Maybe it's living in the jungle with just basics, no television, no phones, no distractions. And that can keep things spicy for you, because sometimes we get distracted by modern living, right? But I'm going to leave you with one thing that I read. I am always looking for ways to keeping relationships spicy, one of which was go to bed naked. Let's see, do we have any more news? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 4 more before we say goodbye in the next 2 minutes. You might be saved, Yvonne. They're prudes. They're prudes in the comments. They're all a bunch of prudes.
Thank you. No more votes needed.
But I am going to leave you with this, which is something that Dr. Pat Allen recommends. I actually like the idea. I love the idea. It's a little bit risque, but I think it's kind of on the safe side. And this is to have your fantasy journals. So this is how it works. She doesn't call them fantasy journals, is what I call them. I don't know I forget what she calls them. And basically the man has to have his journal and the woman has to have her journal. And those journals are going to be kept in a place where each of you can find them. Okay. So, you're going to have maybe yours on the side of the bed, the other one, maybe one in the, it has to stay in that place. Your fantasy journal is where you're going to write your fantasies. You're going to write the things you are too scared to tell him. Okay.
Mhm.
And he's going to tell you things he's too scared to tell you. And it can be anything ranging from, I'd love a saucy weekend away at this place, and we could play some games. Okay. Or I would love to use this toy. Or I would love to go on just a nice quiet weekend away with him. Or I would love for him to buy me flowers or something, right? And you write your fantasies in there. And this is what happens is at any point in the week, your partner goes and spies on your journal. And then they choose what they want to do for you. And that'll be their surprise for the week. So he might think, I can do flowers. I don't know about this holiday situation. Which flowers does she like? The white ones. She wants how many? 50? I think I can do that. I can do 50 white roses. Okay. And he just surprises you. So you never know when it's going to happen. And if he feels like maybe it's your anniversary and he wants to do something big, but we're surprising each other with the things we want. It's a bit like writing a Christmas list. You never know what you're going to get, but you'll love everything that comes. And this is a really great way of unfolding and allowing us to have our fantasy. So whether it's something you would like to happen in the bedroom or in the living room or wherever you want it to happen, whether it's something that you would like to receive, that you know he wouldn't think of doing, and vice versa. I want you couples to go try it and come back and report back to headquarters, okay? Come back and report to the principal's office and let me know how it's going for you. Better still, just join the Black Swan Nation, okay? And let us know in private, okay?
Detail.
But absolutely, if you are, you can do, if you're dating, you can keep, you know, your journal at his place, and he can keep his journal at your place. And every time he comes, he can put an entry and then, you know, join you. And then when he leaves, you can look at his journal and decide maybe you want to do that thing, okay? Whatever that thing might be. Okay. But always make sure that you're very, very comfortable. And, you know, you never do anything to please. Everything must be, how does that feel in my body? Does it feel safe? Does it feel comfortable? Does it feel like something I can do? If not, you don't have to do it, because there'll be a whole list of 100 things that you might feel comfortable with. And perhaps when you do go away and you have that moment, you can say, you know, I've seen this reappear on your list like 20 times. So I know this really matters, but I don't feel safe. Okay. So can we take it off the list, or can we find a way to meet halfway? And I think that was amazing, amazing tool from Dr. Pat Allen to keep things spicy. Okay. So go try one of these things. Okay. Bit of spontaneity, maybe new lingerie, maybe a weekend away, you know, maybe the journals, maybe role play. Role play is massive in relationships. It doesn't even have to be costumes. Sometimes it can just be meeting in a hotel as perfect strangers, as if it's the first time you're going to meet.
Yeah, or by the bar.
Bump into each other. Okay. And you just play out the role. Okay. So many things that you can do. Go try them. Go do it. And for the rest of you, we'll be seeing you at the Soulmate Attraction System course self-study. Ladies, do you have anything to say before we say goodbye?
Yes, and just one thing, because I know it's got really hot in here, to kind of cool it down. Other things that you can add as well is actually being big kids and going out to play. Date night doesn't always have to be on a table sitting next to each other on the opposite, having something to eat or a movie or a theater or dressing up. There are places, again, I'm talking for London girls, there are places that are all called Adults Play. And you can literally go on a jumping castle and go and jump out. You can go on slides, on swings. It again is about appeasing the inner child and finding someone to play with. And it really, really, again, like for me, something I would do. I recently went 2 weekends ago to a big old jumping castle. It wasn't on a date, but it was from some friends. And I was thinking, you know what, you could actually come here with your date. And it's like a whole maze of jumping castles, and they kind of pop up everywhere. You could literally go, and it's so cute because it's almost a race as well. At the end, there's big slides as well. Like little things like that to just kind of keep the fire alive and kind of keep you all young. I mean, you need to enjoy the wife of your youth, and I'm sure it's the same for the husband. Enjoy the husband of your youth, and young. Yeah. And then afterwards, when you've cooled down and gone and jumped in the park, then things over that side will definitely be rekindled. Just
Oh,
saying.
yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So let's go sizzle. Yvonne, did you have anything to say before we say goodbye?
Do you know the only thing that I wanted to say is when Unique said, enjoy the wife of your youth. I think there's a scripture that has always fascinated me, and I think it's, I forget who wrote it. I think it might have been Solomon, where he says, drink water from your own cistern. And,
Yes.
you know, that is,
Oh,
so do that. And in order for you to do that, you need to play a little and be childlike, you know, so that you can do that. Come home one day and let him find, you know, him coming home instead of you giving this. Why not greet him at the door naked?
Yeah.
Why can't you do that?
I
No.
know.
Nudity,
Actually, you know
nudity,
what?
nudity.
No.
I'm going to type my own in. I'm going to type my own in. Then that won't be kids.
I'm going to type mine in as well.
I was actually going to say, I think another thing is like, you'll just go and read all of Solomon together, all of it. You as a couple. Just
Yes, it's Ecclesiastics. It is, or somewhere.
Songs of
I read,
Solomon, darling.
oh, sorry, I
Solomon is a whole
knew it
lot
was somewhere there. Yeah, where it says drink water from your own cistern. So yeah, that's
Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, the proofs are saving your life. They're saving your life.
No, we don't. Can you read that again, please?
Anyway, I am just going to say
that again,
good night,
please?
everybody. I'm still looking at the numbers, Okay. Oh, unfortunately, you've lost.
Unique did it.
Yvonne, you're charged between now and the next live to go to bed naked or answer the door naked to your husband. And then we will know that you're a true champion of the cause of sizzle. Okay.
You know what? I'm going to take a hit for the team. I'm going to do it. I'll take a hit for the team. Won't tell you which one, but I'm going to take a hit for the team and I'll let you know.
She'll let us know. I don't know if she'll let you people know. Okay, no.
Apologize for us in advance. Apologize. We are apologetic in advance, but not
So
really.
for all the pastors and all the men and women of God watching, please apologize.
But it's okay. I'm married. So
yes, indeed. But, you know, there was a bit of mischief, the thinking, how do these virgin girls know what they're talking about? You're married and we're virgins.
Yeah, but what I'm doing here and what everyone out there is hearing is this is the fun that you can have in marriage.
In holy matrimony.
In only marriage. It doesn't happen because nobody does anything else out there. No, you all save it and you're all saving it for marriage. No bouncy castles now. Wait until you're married. No.
She's being facetious, by the way. Just in case you don't know Coach Yvonne's sense of humor. But she was referring to the virgins, Unique and myself.
Yes.
We've got children. Yeah. We've got children. We were married once.
No.
We still identify. We identify
25-year-old virgins.
As 25-year-old virgins. And that's how we don't know any of what we've been talking about. We just know it because we've read it in a book somewhere. Yes. It was a good idea.
No, let's get it right. You went on AI and it told you what to say.
Chat AI said. Never wrong.
See,
that's how we know this stuff.
And I asked it to write it in first person so that it is something.
Yes.
Yes. And we learned the expressions as well and everything.
Yes.
A lot of work has gone into, convincing our audience that we should become identified as 25-year-old
You
virgins.
are God-fearing women who are sitting patiently waiting on the Lord. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Enough fun and jokes before we offend people for sure and for real. Thank you so much.
Can you imagine the tags that oh no, we were joking.
It's a good thing we're not that famous yet, because good Lord, they would have taken this. We've gone viral. Hello.
It will go viral.
The black swans are up to no good. Do not follow them. They're devil children.
Do you know what they will say? Thank goodness for that. I didn't think they had it in them.
Now maybe some people are going to want to be black swans because they had no idea.
I think we might actually need to go into that a little bit, because you know how sometimes as a lady you can almost come up as prudish, because people
Yes.
take on prudishness thinking that that is what is classy, that is being a lady. There's certain things I can never talk about, there's certain things I can never be, but being a lady is about embracing all your womanhood, and this is part of it. Get used to it.
Absolutely. Listen, if you're gonna be a black swan, you're a very unique being that balances your dark and feminine and your dark and light feminine. You are a virgin and you are a vixen, okay? You have to be able to flow in both. So obviously we're not going to cover this tonight. We'll be here all day because like I said, we are mischievous and we are swans nevertheless. And we will see you on our next live. If you need anything from us, you know where to find us. We love you and good night.
I'll see you